Welcome to the TikTok podcast. The clock is always ticking, so let's synchronize our watches and dive in. I'm your host, Callie Brigham, and I'm here to help you make time for what matters. Hey, friends. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, you can probably see a giant smile on my face and a giant smile on my guest's face. And you might just think that it's because we're happy to see each other, which we are, and we're happy to be on this podcast together, which we are. However, there's more to it. Today, we're going to take a peek behind the curtain, a peek behind the digital curtain, a peek behind the social media curtain. And that was a little teaser as to what I mean by that. So if you have ever in the last 30 plus episodes enjoyed hearing or seeing the intro of the TikTok podcast, if you have ever enjoyed watching the YouTube shorts that we're now producing or seeing a reel on social media that you're like, wow, that 1 minute really captured the essence of that episode. Okay, pulling back the curtain because I want to reveal and shine the spotlight on the woman who is responsible not only for some incredible digital and social gifts that she gives to you all and to me personally, but a woman who IRL in real life is someone that I want to shine the spotlight on for you. You know, you have those friends that you're like, you are the first person I'm telling this to. Or those friends that you're saying, this is not a text message. Can you hop on Zoom right now? Or those friends that say, you know, we're having a really important conversation, but my butterflies are emerging from their cocoon. So can we get on FaceTime so you can watch the butterflies emerge from the cocoon back during the pandemic? Okay. This woman fits all the bills for that today. When I think about Liz, I think about the priorities of faith, the priority of family, the priority of friends, and then I think of the priorities of fashion and food and faraway lands. So please welcome to the TikTok podcast, my girl, my sister, Liz Krol. Welcome, Liz.
Oh my word. Oh my word. What an awesome introduction. Hello to the amazing audience of the TikTok podcast. It is such an honor and a privilege for me to be sharing this platform and this time with you, Callie.
Oh, Liz, I'm just so happy to have you here. This is truly a Friday feature bonus. You have taken everything up a notch when I think about bonus. And what I was alluding to was a few months ago, I guess maybe mid-October, I messaged you and I said, I have this crazy idea. You are so gifted in the digital space and you're one of my dearest friends. And so help, SOS, help me out with some of the things. You stepped in. And then when things started to go really well, I said, can we expand our reach? Can you help me? Because for those that are going to get to know you, you are an expert in a lot of areas, but you specifically are a social media strategist and you're a live stream producer. So you've got a lot of gifts in that arena, but that's not all who you are though, Liz, even though I'm bragging on that. So tell everybody, who are you? Who is Liz Krol?
Well, I'm like trying to keep my hands together and not put my hand on the mouse and take over right now. I truly love being a live stream producer. I love doing the behind the scenes stuff. But yes, I'm multifaceted. I am a yaya. I'm a grandma. I am a Latin gospel singer. So I have music on Spotify and Apple Music, and I'm a worshiper. And I love to travel with my husband. And yeah, there's so many layers to that, which we may talk about with our subject today.
I think this may need to be a first on the TikTok podcast. We might need just a little verse or chorus line from a song. I'm not going to make you do it right. I'm going to give you, 20 minutes to think about it, but we might need some vocals on this. All right. So Liz, when I invited you to be on here, which is a long time coming, frankly, there were so many different topics that we could cover because, like you said, you're multifaceted. There's a lot of different areas that you have. You're a mom of 4. Like you said, you're a yaya. You've been through life too. You've had a lot going on. But we decided that for this particular episode, and I hope you'll come back, that we're going to really speak to something that we haven't talked about before. so far in the history of our, you know, tens of episodes that we've had. And that's how we manage, how we balance the idea of social media, digital content when it comes to our personal and our professional life. So we decided we're going to tackle that today. You're an expert. A lot of the things that we're going to talk about can be a resource for our listeners. So, Liz, tell everybody the website, how they can contact you. I know we're saying this at the beginning, but I know that throughout this event, they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, I wanna know her more." So this will all be in the show notes, but tell people how they can contact you, and then let's dive into some questions that we have.
All right. Well, they can contact me via my website, lkpmedia.org. And I am pretty much a social media firm where I help entrepreneurs just showcase their professionalism and just all the wonderful things on multi platforms simultaneously. And again, the website is lkpmedia.org. All the information that we're probably going to be sharing today, you're going to find some good stuff on that page.
That's right, and we're recording this, the week of International Women's Day, and this is launching actually on International Women's Day. I know you love supporting women. Guys, you are able to tap into Liz's genius too, so do not worry about that. But in a couple short weeks, you've got some exciting things launching. Let's save that to the end so people know what they have to look forward to. Okay, so you talked about professionalism and helping to grow people's business as one of the facets, but how do we balance that? So we've got our professional presence and then we also have our personal life. So is there a way to be able to have both of those and for the both of those to be like in sync and working well? What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts on that, first of all, let's define this balance in this digital age that we're living in right now. And for me, it's understanding that I work on social media, but I do not live there. There's more to my life than likes. I'm going to say that again.
Okay,
There's
that's gonna make the highlight reel. That's going on the highlight reel. Okay, yeah. Say all of that again, and then say it in Spanish for our Spanish listeners.
Okay, en español. Defining that balance in this social digital age that we're living in today is primarily understanding that although we work on social media, we do not live there. And that's where the balance is. And I'm going to use my friend Callie as an example. Okay.
Okay.
We all love watching you do business and we love watching this and season with the TikTok podcast. But oh, what little would we know or how we would little identify with you if you would never post of your adorable dog Pippa, right? Like
Right.
that is managing the balance of professional and personal that we can. I've never owned a pet, but every time I see Pippa, girl, you pull my heartstrings and makes me want to go get a puppy. But that's another layer of Callie. And I want my customers and my clients and those who are following me, not just to see that I do business, but that I'm a lot of different things. Like I mentioned earlier, I am a yaya. I love fashion. Like Callie said in the beginning, I love to travel with my husband. We are travel addicts, right? But I can't enjoy all of those things if I'm constantly on social media. So
And you said something about likes as well that, making sure that we're not prioritizing the likes. Do you remember how you said that?
yes, it is living life beyond likes, because it's more about what's happening, the real life substance, than the digital superficial world. Even though that's where, again, that's where I work and I love it and we have a passion for it, but there has to be a balance. I'm currently doing a lot of reading in reference to social media and that personal balance that we need to have. And one thing that I've learned is that there's a lot of power in showing up as we are. The more we try to fit in a mold, the more we diminish our magic. I mean, let's be honest. If we stick to just the trends and how things need to be so themed and so, no, I don't just want to have one niche. I love to advance the kingdom of God. I love to bless other women. I love to do many things. And I don't want to put myself in that box where it's just one particular thing because I want to make the digital space happy, if that makes any sense.
It does. I think there's a lot of pressure to show up a certain way. There's a lot of pressure for perfection. There's a lot of pressure to be trending, but trends come and go. And we're not the kind of women, and I don't think our listeners are the kind of women that are flash in the pan. We're not come and go kind of people. We're I love how you said that if we try to fit in the mold, we're going to diminish our magic. So if there is something that you think, I want to share it and I want to share it this way, it doesn't matter if reels are in or carousels are in or which, right? It depends on how you want to show up for people
Right.
and what you wanna share and what you want your voice to be too. So, all right, it's easy though, no matter what, and we talk a lot about time, it's easy to feel consumed by social media, especially if we are working in it, if it is a vehicle for growing our professional life, etcetera. How do we find that practical balance? How often do we work on it? How do you compartmentalize? What does that look like?
Ooh, so that we don't feel completely overwhelmed and consumed by it, because I totally get it. We can feel consumed by it. There are a lot of different practical tips, but I'm going to just share two. These are the two that I do the most. And it's number one, it's a word we've heard a lot here on the TikTok podcast, and it is accountability. Accountability. We have to have our spouse, sometimes even our kids, to just say, time's up, we're putting the device away. It's dinner time, we're putting it away. It's an hour before bed, we're not on the device. When we wake up in the morning, it is not the first thing we pick up. So it's that having that person like that keeps us accountable to not to having this healthy relationship with social media, right? And then the second one for me is scheduling posts. I intentionally schedule my post. Now, here's a secret. And I think you caught on to this, Callie. You caught on to one of my secrets. When we travel and we go somewhere, everything is off. I really enjoy my vacation. If we're going to Paris, I'm going to enjoy Paris. We're not playing around with the phone and scrolling. No, we're not. We're capturing those memories when we travel. So when I return, that's when I start posting day one, day two, and the activities, right? But there's a reason why I do that, because I want to be in the moment. And I love scheduling posts. This again is for business. So I know what I'm going to promote in this particular month, right? We're entrepreneurs. We know what we want to move. Is it a product? Is it a course? What is it that you're moving? So in the beginning of the month, I already prepare my scheduled posts for the month. And this has just lifted just so much weight throughout the entire month, because that's already done, and it was done intentionally, right? You don't need a social media manager to even do this. I mean, you could do this just by taking advantage of that free part that we have there on Facebook, which is the Meta Business Suite, which is part of one of the courses that are coming up next week. Just a shameless little plug there, but it's for you to use, but we need to capitalize on that.
All right, so accountability is critical. And those people in your life that you just mentioned, I can guarantee if you tell them, "Hey, this is my limit," that they will not back down until they pull that phone out of your hand. We have to have that balance though. What kind of life are we living? Like you said, if we are living only in that social media space.
Right.
I was reading some research about how addictive that app developers make social media so that there's never a lull in notifications so that you get that dopamine fix by going on. So some people, Liz, might even need to move their app off of their phone and only do their social media online. Is that something that I think you have a tendency to do? You do a lot of yours on your computer, so you're not tempted to always be on the phone. Is that true?
That is absolutely correct. Where the app does not exist on my phone, it's just work that I do when I'm sitting at my computer in my desk. That is huge, huge.
All right. And then the second one was scheduling posts and being able to like set it and forget it. Right. I learned that the hard way. I do the social media for our family business. It is a like kind of like a service master type business, emergency services, et cetera. And for maybe the first 9 months, I would do a reel every Tuesday. Guess what I was doing every Tuesday morning? Like getting up at 5, creating the reel. It was exhausting. And I mean, I finally just got smart. And once a month now, I schedule it all and it takes a few hours. It does take that proactive planning. And then I'm able to the rest of the month just monitor it and make sure that things are going okay. So, if you are proactively planning these things, do you have any tips for people that will allow them to have some freedom in this, stay focused, anything that served you in that way?
Ooh, for the planning these scheduled posts, listen, I like to keep it fun. I like to keep it fun. Believe it or not, I think I have my thing here. Look, I love stickers. Like I am all about the sticker game. The stickers will remind me what it is that I need to post, what dates. Tuesdays and Wednesdays is this. And when I have several, in my case, I have several businesses that I do social media management for. So I like to know when and sit and do what I need to do. You have to really understand, and this is a strategy that I like to use, and it's effective for me, especially managing all of these tasks. And it's my strategy is getting a hang of the rhythm and the flow of my business. You know, the same way your household has a rhythm and a flow, the rhythm and flow of the Brigham household is different from the Kroll household. Dinner time, laundry, when you do groceries, all of those things is a rhythm and a flow of your household. Do you know the rhythm and the flow of your business? My business has a rhythm and a flow, and I understand that flow. So in your business, understand the flow. So when does this need to happen? When does that need to happen? And take care of that, you know, and say, okay, well, this can wait till the end of the month, the last week of the month. But when you're scheduling these posts, you're just allowing that flow to be so effortless, effortless.
Okay, so if somebody wants the flow, they're like, I want that. I want to have fun with it. I don't want to feel consumed by it. Where do they start though? Because you've developed that expertise. You've learned probably through some trial and error. So if somebody wants that freedom in the flow. How do they begin to do that? Where's the starting point?
Starting point is you have to know what your goal is. My goal is what dictates the flow, right? The goal dictates the flow of what it is that I'm doing. So this is the goal for the month. So then this is what I need to do. And again, in my case, I have several businesses. So one business is, you know, their social media engagement is on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then I have another business that Saturdays and Sundays is where people are jumping in. And I got to understand the flow of what their business is like. That is what, but again, it's because it's the goal. What is the goal? Am I reaching more people? Am I trying to reach a monetary goal where I'm moving this amount of product or whatever it may be? And that's where it starts. Then you'll be able to just put the stickers in the right places, the tags, you know, in the right places throughout the month.
I think that's so smart and it feels so simple, but most people, I think, are a bit reactive when it comes to social media, especially when they are growing their business there or growing their services there. It feels a bit scattered. It feels a bit, let me see if this works. But if we understand our goal, if we begin with the end in mind, then we can backtrack from there. But that takes a little bit of planning as well. So, how much would you say is in the planning stage? And how much would you say is in the actual posting state? You know, there's a little bit of a difference too. So should someone budget some time for planning as well as what does that look like in your mind for people?
For sure, it's you have to plan out that time for the planning and then the content creating and then the posting. Like all of those things take time because the content creating in itself is time, whether you're using pictures, whether you're using video snippets. And those are the two things that I ask from the businesses that are part of my clientele. Give me pictures, give me videos, I'll take care of the rest. But again, it's that content creation. I have to separate time for content creation. And then I separate time for the posting. And that's the scheduling. That's where it just the burst happens and it goes throughout all of the social media platforms. But you do have to, like you mentioned earlier, I have to do this. It's gonna take 2 or 3 hours in the month, in the beginning of the month. But then it just flows and it happens on its own. So definitely it's completely worth it.
I think it just goes back to the reminder that social media can be a place that we work. Right? Yes, we can play if we have the time, if we've budgeted the time, but most people, I think, maybe have a little bit in reverse. We play on we live on social media instead of doing our work. And Liz, we were talking about how often we will share something and then not, except for I know you'll look at metrics, but we'll share it, put the content out there, and then my hands are off of that. Like I am not refreshing. I am not worried about what's coming from that. I'm just being proactive in doing my work. Do you do that too?
That is correct. I like to come back later, a good 24 to 36 hours, and then look at comments and then look at so that I can engage again with them, obviously. But yes, post and then let it go, move on to the next task, because if not, you will sit there and scroll and see what everyone else is doing. And you went into work and you ended up doing something completely different. You're looking at a recipe on how to make chicken carbonara.
I mean, that sounds good and all, right, but was that part of my goal? So, Liz, are there certain platforms that you suggest for people? Let's say their time is limited. How do they know which platforms to be focused on? Because there's so many. You don't have to be uber specific because I know we have a lot of different types of women listening, but how are we supposed to know which platform? And by the way, I'm totally going rogue on questions with you, but I think these are things I know people are asking if we saw comments. Like, how do I know where to post? So, what would you say to that in your social media advice for people?
For me, it's going to be the platform that you feel most comfortable with is going to be number one. Not where everyone's at, but the one that you feel most comfortable with and that you see there's an engagement for your demographic, whether it's younger teens or whether it's older women or depending if it's couples, if whatever it may be, but the platform that you're most comfortable with, the platform where you feel there's most engagement, start there first and then work your way with, okay, so I'm going to start with Facebook and I'm going to integrate now on Instagram. And I haven't touched YouTube, but should I start doing this? My content is a lot of how to this, how to that, how to this. Then you probably need to be on YouTube because YouTube is a huge search engine. How to, and then you put it in there, your video is going to be up there right away. But yeah, again, it's being able to be comfortable with the platform itself.
So, just start somewhere and then you can evolve from there.
Correct.
So, another just little kind of path that we can take on here is that I think sometimes that it's hard, it's difficult to maintain our identity in this distracting digital world. And I know you felt that way too. Like, who am I really when people see me, when they see Liz on here? How can we make sure that we are true to ourselves, that we don't become influenced? I know this is a big piece that you personally work on and that you encourage other women to work on too through your ministry and all of that. It's so easy, Liz, to become distracted and discouraged even in the digital space.
Yeah, I think the two main words you're referring to is authenticity and integrity. Those are two very powerful words, Callie. Those are fighting words. Like those are like don't play with my integrity or my authenticity. And it's hard to be able to balance that in social media, right? Because subconsciously we look for validation from strangers on the internet. I mean, let's be honest, we do when the superficial realm, and I think this is the important part, when the superficial realm outweighs the real world substance, we need to take a step back and literally reevaluate. Reevaluate. For example, when someone tells me, I barely interact with my friends offline, I barely interact with my friends offline. All right. Everything is via DM or a comment on a post. Gone are the days of going to have coffee together or going on a double date. You know, if everything is virtual, then you have lost the authenticity and the integrity of who you really are and how much you value that friendship. We've abandoned, and that's a strong word, but we've abandoned those friendships that once brought us so much joy in exchange for building a greater online audience. Whew. We've exchanged that because I rather have more followers than sit with Callie and have coffee with her. I mean, we're from there is no other generation than our generation, the kids of the 80s, because we saw a landline. We saw mom run in and press to see if there was any voice messages on the machine, remember? And she'd see you had 3 messages. Click, somebody called. Auntie so and so just called us, you know? And we're of the days we saw cable and we see now on demand. We're the days of the pagers and the beepers. We saw there is no other generation that's going to exist like our generation. If you were a kid in the 80s, this is the generation I'm talking to right now. The other generations do not see that. It's us. We saw it. We saw how, and we're still seeing how it's evolving, how technology is evolving. Like I said, pagers to cell phones to, now we have Alexa and Siri and everything is just, we've seen it, we're walking in it, but we cannot allow those things to change who we are by adapting our lives, every single aspect of our lives to technology.
The attention span of young people and older people now, we've become so conditioned, looking people in the eyes, having genuine conversations that last more than a minute, right? Maybe being inconvenienced to spend time with somebody. Those things could become a lost art.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let's sum up what is the purpose and value of being in the digital space, because we want to have a positive outlook on this, but realistic. So, in your opinion, Liz, what is the value of that? How can we hold on to our values while still, maybe that's how we say it. How do we hold on to our values, perpetuate them, while still seeing the value of how many people we can reach
Yeah.
through social media?
There's nothing like knee to knee, eye to eye contact. At the end of the day, that's just the most important thing. Social media was created to drive connections, but sadly, it does the very opposite. It does the opposite. Like it's a connection, but it's not real life connection. It's like I mentioned earlier, real life and the social realm are two totally different things. And we have to be able to, it's like when I said to reevaluate every 3 months. And this is just a quick little tip of how we're going to create these boundaries when it comes to the digital consumption so that these things don't negatively impact our lives. Every 3 months, I'm going to clean house. What is clean house? It's called the unfollow button. It's that simple. It's the unfollow button. Clean house every 3 months. I decide how I consume content. Listener, you decide how you consume content. Isa Watson, in her book called Life Beyond Likes, she says it is important to self regulate how we engage with social media and the role that we are allowing it to play in our lives. So, in other words, Callie, the same way you and I evolve and grow, every person that listens to this podcast, we're all evolving, we're all growing as people. So, the same way we evolve and grow, the same way the things that I want to follow, that needs to evolve and grow as well. And if I don't want to look at these things anymore, I don't have to. And you know what? That's okay. Click unfollow. It's not doing me any good.
Boundaries, limitations. Can I make a true confession? Okay. Now,
Confess.
I don't want anybody listening to get the wrong idea, because I am at my friend limit. So on Facebook, I'm at my friend limit. So if we're not officially friends, it's fine. My Facebook is public. So anybody can follow me. But okay, here it goes. Ah! So on someone's birthday, you know how you have the birthday list, right? It shows you your birthday list. I've done this for a long time. I either wish them a happy birthday or I unfriend them. Only because I'm like, if I literally don't know you enough that I would be able to wish you a happy birthday, why are we friends? That word is so loosely now, again, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I haven't unfriended anybody in a long time. And again, if we're not friends, it's because I did not unfriend you. It's because I'm at my limit. I'm gonna get myself in so much trouble. But at the same time, it's okay. I'm real and I'm authentic, and so I'm just gonna say it like it is. So if you don't even wanna wait 3 months, just every day look and see who you have a birthday. Whose birthday? You can wish them happy birthday or
Right.
unfriend them.
Yes. And it's almost strange because we're friends, but we do not engage. And you realize, wow, a lot of these people, and it goes back to quality versus quantity. I don't need 3,000 followers. I rather have 500 people that have contact with me, know what I'm doing, understand my business. We answer each other's questions. We're celebrating each other because that's key to celebrating each other, encouraging each other, than 5,000 where there's no interaction whatsoever. And then this is the mistake that a lot of people they forget. My wall, my news feed, the people that show up there are the people who are actually engaging with me. So someone can say, "Oh, I posted this. You didn't even see it. I don't see your stuff. Sorry. Why? You never engage with me. We never engage. Those who engage with me, those are the first people that I see on my wall. That's why if you feel like someone is important to you and you want that person in your circle, engage with them. Don't just watch them from a distance. Don't be a stalker, but click like, put the heart on there and engage with that person so that there would be a true connection there.
Well, I know I show up on yours because you see Pippa all the time, so I'll keep posting about Pippa so you keep me on your timeline, your page, your front page. Oh, Liz, thank you so much for all that you have done for me personally, for supporting me in this wild and crazy and amazing adventure. Thank you for when I got my mic, okay, wait, which knob should it be on? How's my voice sound? Right? Do you remember that? Helping me with the intro video, absolutely priceless. So as we wrap up, I want everyone to know again where they can find you. You have something exciting coming on March the 20th. So tell us if they want more Liz, where they can find more of you if they don't have your cell phone like I have it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find me on social media as Liz Krol on Facebook, Lizette Krol on Instagram, or go to Liz Krol Productions on Facebook as well. That's the business page. And the website, lkpmedia.org. And that's where you'll see the information and the links to enroll in the courses, because this course that's coming up next week is the Meta Business Suite. And it's literally a tutorial. You're going to watch me work for one of my businesses and watch me post and schedule for both Instagram and Facebook. Do that together flawlessly, and you can do it as well to save time.
Awesome. So you've got that course coming up, and you already have a course that I know has been wildly successful for those that are really intimidated by some of the technology. So if that is you and you're like, okay, this sounds great, I wouldn't even know where to start, they can connect with you. And that course is already in play as of this
Yes.
recording. And if it's March 20th or after, they can choose from whichever course suits them best or take all of them.
Yeah, and it's mastering your online presence from mic to lens. It's called From Mic to Lens because I share the link of the microphone that I use, and they get to see my office setup. And like I said, I'm usually in the background. I'm holding off here. I'm not usually the the guest, but
She's not in control of this, and I think, yeah, she's shaken right now. All right, 2 last things. First, you have to sing something for us, Liz, just something.
you're gonna make me do that.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
real.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, let's do Cuán grande es Dios. Cantemos todos cuán grande es Dios y todos lo verán. Cuán grande es Dios. I think we all know
How
that one.
great is our God? Yeah.
He is.
Liz, I'm gonna give you a gift. It is the pretend gift of a bonus hour. You can do whatever you want to with it. what would you do with that gift?
Ooh, that's an easy one. I would grab that additional hour to cuddle with my kids. Even though they're grown, I just, when you're an empty nester, you miss the kitties. So, yeah, I take that time. I love when they call me and they say, "Mom, we're heading to your house." I had my soldier here a couple months ago and he literally like laid on my lap. He's a grown man and he just laid. I'm like, "Oh, my kids still love to cuddle." Because that was our time, cuddle time. So it would be cuddle with the kids.
I was gonna say, now that they're all grown, it's like who's cuddling who, right? It's just one big cuddle fest.
Yeah.
Liz, when Brayden was a little guy, he's now taller than me too at 15, but we called it snuggying. He's gonna kill me for this. But I would lay in bed and I was like, "Brayden, will you always snuggie mommy?" And he was like, "Always, mommy." I was like, "Okay." And I'll never forget one night, I would always pull him to me. That's what a mom does, like pull you to them. One night we're laying there and I feel this little arm go around me and he pulled me to him and I'm gonna go snuggle my kids real fast, snuggie them.
Yes, that's that extra hour. That's the extra hour.
It's precious. That's precious.
Mhm.
Thank you for being precious. Thank you for giving a gift to so many people that they didn't even know that you were the one behind it. So it is my privilege, my friend, to shine the spotlight on you. And thankfully, even though we get to see each other a lot virtually, I get to see you in person in a couple of weeks. And I can't wait because that's the real deal. So thanks for all that you do with your work in social so that we can live in real life.
Thank you, Callie, for the invite. I love you, sister.
I love you too. God bless you. And God bless all of our listeners. Happy International Women's Day to all of the phenomenal women out there. All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me on the TikTok podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review. Your feedback fuels our mission to help you master your time. Set your alarm for our next episode, and until then, make every moment count.